Q, what to you is your operational definition of a superstar?
This is another topic that here at the university I talk to a lot of ballers about, and they always think I'm crazy because if they say I have no respect for players, right? And it's one of the most asinine things I've ever heard. And here's my thing: to answer this question, I have to give you just a brief history of who I am as an NBA watcher. I grew up watching tapes of people like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I grew up watching tapes of people like David Robinson, of Hakeem Olajuwon, people like Clyde Drexler, obviously, Jordan, all the greats, right? And the one thing that always had my eye was the fact that they could take over games. They could affect their team by making teammates who might be mediocre or even trash look like they were solid to good, right? And my opinion of what a superstar is someone who can affect the game, make their teammates better, and it is a talent that you could put on virtually any team, and he is going to have them in playoff contention just off his greatness alone. And I feel like you could do that with Magic Johnson. I feel like you could do that with Larry Bird. You could do that with Michael Jordan. You could do that with Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley. You've seen it happen. Shaquille O'Neal, you could see it happen. So I'm not trying to, shit on any players when I say this. I just want to give you my clear opinion of what I think it is. I believe there are seven to. I believe there is a case to make that there are only 7 to 10 superstars in the NBA. Off the top of my head, I would say Stephen Curry, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Damian Lillard, and Chris Paul. All right, those are my 7 that I have. I have the utmost respect for. I'm leaving out people like Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, I know James Harden, all these great players, but there are tiers. I believe there is a superstar and there is a star. All right. So let me tell you why.
Okay.
A star to me is someone like James Harden. The reason why I don't put him as a superstar, even though he could be in playoff contention, if you put him on a lot of teams, I don't think he makes the people around him better. Because if that was true, Dwight Howard would be playing. If that was true, then they wouldn't have started off the way that they started off the season. And he would actually play some fucking defense. And he wouldn't have 13 turnovers in the Western Conference Finals. But we're not even going to talk about that because even LeBron James has scored 2 points in the fourth quarter, right? But the thing is, though, is that they try. Show your effort. You always have your heart. And there are times where James Harden's heart for the game is questionable when the game isn't going his way. And the mark of a superstar is what I saw of LeBron James in the 2014 NBA Finals when he was getting his ass handed to him and he still put up every shot like they were down one. That's a superstar to me. And a star to me is Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. And I would even put Paul George as a superstar. So I'll give you 8, right? And those are my 8. And I think a lot of people take offense to that because they think I'm saying these people aren't good. No, I'm not saying they aren't good. I'm not saying that they aren't great. I'm saying that they are not the standard by which NBA players should aspire to be. Anthony Davis, as great as he's going to be, he isn't that now. So he's not a superstar to me. It's just simple. Kyrie Irving, he's great, but he's not a superstar. There's a difference also between being a superstar player, by what I'm talking about, and a superstar point guard, superstar shooting guard, superstar that and that. James Harden is a superstar shooting guard. He's not a superstar player. To
Would you say that he's a star that's treated like a superstar?
Yes, because James Harden flops his ass off and he goes to the free throw line.
Man, there's stats for this. The amount of calls that the Rockets get compared to the rest of the league. There's a breakdown. You can find tweets of it or Google it. The Rockets get the most foul calls, and that's because of James Harden.
And it's just ridiculous. And it's not even like he's really getting fouled. It's like, oh, I'm gonna pump fake and jump into the guy, even though the NBA rulebook says that that's not a foul, but they still call it anyway. Another change that needs
Yeah.
to be drastically enforced. So yeah, I mean, he's not a superstar to me. And a lot of people will say, "Oh man, you're crazy because he puts up a lot of points." All right, let's break that down. By superstar, I mean you have to have the full package. So when I look at Kevin Durant, I'm not saying he has to have Kawhi Leonard's defensive tendencies and his instincts, but Kevin Durant gives a damn on defense. He actually cares. He wants to defend the player. He's not just, you know, like I don't know if you saw the quote of what Kevin Durant said about James Harden. Yeah,
James
but he was
Harden,
just like,
yeah, he
yeah,
just sagged
sometimes he'll
off.
just
He just eased up and got a steal,
sometimes he'll just, get a steal. Sometimes he'll just watch people go by him. It depends on what he wanted.
and then find the
It
opportunity.
depended on what his move was. That's not a
Yeah.
superstar to me. That's someone who's a star who can score a lot of points. He's a microwave. He's having a good game. You know what I'm saying? He heats up fast, but he also cools off fast. So I mean, I like
Yeah.
James Harden though. I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a tremendous player. He's just not the standard by which all NBA players should aspire to be. When I look at rising
Right.
superstars, I see Anthony Davis. I see Kyrie Irving. I see,
Well, go ahead.
but those are my superstars, and I think we just need to start to. Let me put it this way. I need to just put it this way for all my fellas out there, and even for some of my girls out there, right, who actually care about the NBA. When you see a guy or you see a girl, right, and you're like, oh my god, he or she is a 10. Oh, she's a dime, right? You rarely give out that rating because that is reserved for the best of the best. Bro, did you see her, bro? Oh, yeah, she was a dime. Oh my god. Did you see the way her hair flowed? Did you see her face, bro? Oh my god, her body was incredible. Yo, did you see him? You see how tall he was? Did you see his skin complexion? Yada yada, whatever the fuck girls talk about, right? And you throw around the word dime to only those who you feel really deserve it. You can be a 9. You can be a 9.5. You can be an 8. You can be a 7. But to be a dime, you have to meet certain qualifications in people's minds. And that is what a superstar is in basketball terms. I'm not going to throw around the word superstar for Andrew Wiggins because there are think pieces calling him the next thing because he's just not that yet. He's a star in the NBA. He's a rising star, actually. He's not even a star yet.
Rising
He's a
star. Yeah.
rising star. He's not known to
I mean,
everybody who's not hardcore into the NBA yet. When you're a superstar in the media, that's when everyone knows your name. But a superstar to
yeah.
me is where you can quantify it with the numbers, you can quantify it with the heart, you can quantify it just with the
Right.
eye test. And you can't do that for people like Anthony Davis because your team fucking sucks this year. Yes, part of it is injury, but before we even knew about the injuries and all that stuff, your team started out the season pretty damn terrible. I mean, you were supposed to make the leap to MVP this year, and now you're sitting out the rest of the season with a torn
Well,
labrum.
right.
And I'm not saying that's his fault. Like he chose that, but the leap was supposed to be
The,
MVP,
yeah.
and you're not even in the man. He was killing it before the injury.
Well, that might be everyone else's fault for their perception and their
Oh
expectations
yes,
on him.
of course. And even then, that's why I'm saying crowning people superstar too soon puts unrealistic expectations on people. Stop doing that, man. Stop giving out the word dime to every girl. It's not gonna you. We don't do that in real life. So why are we doing this in the NBA? You don't see a girl.
Savor those dimes.
Yeah, like bro, you see Halle Berry. Oh my god, dime. But you don't see a random girl be like, she's all right. I mean, her face is okay. Her teeth are fucked up, but hey, dime.
Oh my god.
You just
Oh my god.
see you don't say that. You don't look at a guy like, oh yeah, he is only 5 feet. His hairline is trash. He smells, but hey, he's a dime. Like no one does that. No one says that. So stop doing it for NBA players.
Right.
Oh man, I mean, he did after 30 points, but those 13 turnovers and the fact that they got blown out by 30. I mean, but Stephen A. says he's a superstar. So superstar, no.
Right. And that actually, to go on to your point, to give my 2 cents,
But
I thought that analogy was hilarious. But like, I'm gonna use Kyrie Irving as a example that you mentioned, and I'm looking at his stat line right now for the last time they played when they lost the Pacers when LeBron was sitting out. So that's a key factor to remember.
Indeed.
Now, the thing you mentioned about a superstar, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, is that they make an impact of the court regardless of scoring. And I think the best statistic to do that, whether it be player efficiency, but I think the best one to do that is the plus minus stat. Now, in my opinion, if you're that good of a superstar, they're playing that well, regardless of your scoring, your plus minus is going to be positive. Like LeBron is, I don't know if there's ever been an instance where his plus or minus was in the minus unless he was just playing like trash, which is rare. So for Kyrie Irving, the game where they lost the Pacers got blown out when LeBron was sitting. So here's Kyrie Irving's stat line. People, I think this is an example of the pre-coronation of being called a superstar because of his scoring prowess. He played 30 minutes. He scored 26 points, 11 for 18, 1 for 5 from the 3, 5 rebounds, 1 block, 3 steals, 4 turnovers. Now, what's his plus minus, do you think?
I don't know, Ryan. Let's tell the people.
It's a minus 12.
Wow, it's almost like he holds the ball too much and slows down the flow of offense.
That, as well as maybe not moving the ball around more for the rest of the team, because I say he's an and one superstar in that sense. Like
He's one of the greatest shows in the NBA, man. He is. He's one of the greatest shows to watch, but he's also one of the greatest detractors of flow within offense that I've seen at the point guard in some time since Allen Iverson. But the thing is, though, is that Iverson didn't have any help, though. He didn't have shit. You have Kevin Love and you have Kevin Love and LeBron James.
That's different. Yes. You took my point. Yes. That's exactly what I'm getting at. So the point I want to make is, if you want to consider Kyrie, that's why I said Kyrie Irving some episodes ago was a budding superstar or budding star.
Yeah.
I said he's getting there, but he's not there right now.
Yeah.
He's not, and I don't know if he will be. Like you said before in a prior podcast, coaching's a big deal with that. As well as how things are going in that offense, in that system. And that's why, now take this whether you will. Criticize me if you will. You can call this a hot take. You can say I got my green goggles on and I got my green teamer shirt on. But I think in terms of a superstar, I think if we compared Kyrie Irving to another player right now, I think Marcus Smart is closer on that trajectory than Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
Yes. Call it a hot take. Call it what you want. Marcus Smart tonight during the Bucks, he only scored 4 points, but he's got 9 assists. His plus minus was a 26. 26. This man made crazy plays tonight against the Bucks defense with these fast passes. His court vision has improved so much. Yes, I love Marcus Smart. Let's get this out the way. Yes, I love the Celtics. Yes, I love Marcus Smart. Yes, I may have a bias toward my Celtics players because I really want to see them succeed, and they're doing very well. But I'm really trying to just break this down statistically. Every time Marcus Smart has played, his plus minus has always been a positive. His net rating for the Celtics offense and defense improves it. Always. The point difference, I believe his win shares are third on the team, if not higher. Whenever he plays, that team, he impacts winning. Kyrie Irving can hurt your winning. He can detract. Yeah, he can score great, but he may hurt your chances at winning. So that's why when Q said the idea of a superstar doing all these other intangibles, or these things that you may not always see on the stat sheet, those are key things to remember. LeBron has those things. As much as I hate LeBron as a person or a player or what he does, I won't deny that.
Yeah, and I think what Ryan's trying to say for anyone who's saying, "Oh my God, did he just call Marcus Morris?" No, I don't think he did. I don't know if I'm gonna put words in his mouth. I don't let him speak for himself. But this is what I took from what he just said. For everybody who just flipped their fucking computer and like, what the fuck? No. I think what Ryan is trying to say is that when it comes to the dirty things, the in the trench type things, the will you dive on a ball rolling up the floor like Marcus Smart did that one time,
Yeah, a Brooklyn game.
in their Brooklyn game doing that. Is Kyrie going to do that? Does he have the heart in him to do it? I think one he does, but I think he's so entrenched in just being the guy on the vine, crossing someone up, and being the natural born scorer that he is, that he kind of throws efficiency out the window. And I think just guys like him and James Harden, they want to be like Kobe. I think they want to be like Kobe Bryant, where they just score those 81 points and lead their team to victory by carrying the team on their back. But what they forget to realize is that as much as people hate Kobe Bryant, Kobe made a lot of his teammates better. He made a lot of them better. He made a lot of them play hard, and then the ones who didn't had to get the fuck out. And Kyrie Irving and James Harden, while they're still young, Kobe, while when he was young, had that same desire that he has now. And what we're trying to say with Marcus Smart, and I believe what Ryan is trying to articulate, is that the trajectory in which Smart is going, if he continues to add pieces to his game, he's probably going to be a better all-around player in all facets of the game than Kyrie will if everyone stays the same on their trajectory that they're going. And I'm not, from what I gather, he's not trying to tell us that Smart will be a better scorer than Kyrie. He's not even trying to say that he'll be a better player, perhaps, but he's trying to say that he's going to be a more well-rounded player, and that is going to be less detrimental to his team than someone like Kyrie, who holds the ball for too long, will. And a lot of what Kyrie's doing might have a lot to do with coaching, like I implied. And even though I said Kyrie was a superstar, I guess I didn't clarify. Kyrie's a superstar point guard. There's a difference between a superstar player and a superstar at a position. And
could you say he's a superstar shooting guard though? Because he plays like one.
He could be. To me, he's a 1 and a 2. I don't.
Well, he plays the one, but he plays like a shooting guard.
I mean, a lot of them do. A lot of ones now do for some reason. They're not teaching passing anymore at the Nike camps. Apparently, they're just score, kid. Just score it instead of just do it. But he plays a lot like a 2 guard. But I think that just has a lot to do with how he was raised, the way that he's always been told, Kyrie, go get it, bro. And I think that's just been his MO since the time that he was a youngin'. And what makes it difficult to watch is that people like Iverson would kill to have just one Kevin Love. People like Iverson, if they had a LeBron James, they might have won 3, 4, 5 rings. But Kyrie doesn't have, the vision to see that, I have all this. Let me try and play more within the team instead of trying to play within myself so much. And it's detrimental to his team because he'll hold the ball for too long. He'll stop and he'll keep the ball stagnant. It won't move. The ball will stick so much with Kyrie that LeBron most of the time wants to push the ball up the floor. LeBron, by the way, I really hope Ben Simmons is watching what LeBron does this season, because LeBron is laying out the blueprint for how Ben Simmons should play in the NBA. Because he's just a big guy bringing the ball up the floor. Big guy controlling the offense, assisting to his teammates. So I really hope Ben Simmons is watching this season. I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a great player, by the way. But with Kyrie and the Cavs and a lot of other players, when it comes to being a superstar, you just have to have certain things. Not every girl is a dime. Not every pretty girl is a dime. And not every great player is a superstar. Let's keep that in mind always, man. We can't just be throwing that label out there, because I think it's just disingenuous if we were to call people like Anthony Davis superstar. I think it's unsupported. I think it's non-factual. I think it's simply just conjecture, and I think it's projection at best that he's going to be this when he's not this right now. Andrew Wiggins is not a star right now. He's a rising star. And you all just want to be...
Karl-Anthony Towns.
He's closer, and I think people just want to be on the cutting edge to be like the "I told you so." Oh, I called this in my podcast weeks ago or years ago when Andrew Wiggins was a rookie. Told you he was a superstar. He wasn't back then, though. So let's just keep it in perspective. That's my point. I'm sticking to it. If you have your grievances, if you have your opinion of what a superstar is, if you just think a superstar is someone who can play very good and score amazingly in the NBA, then leave a comment on this video. List your top 10 superstars in the NBA, no order, and I will personally reply to them and we can have a conversation and we can talk. By the way, you want to hit us up on Twitter? It's at Q Got No Rings, at Q Got No Rings. And then, Ryan, you want to give them the Twitter handle before we move on to the next topic? Just
For me, mine is at RLS003. And of course, if you want to mention these things as well as to the Twitter handle for Off the Bench, it's at OFFTHABENCH.
off bench, follow that.